140 passengers sitting on an American airline noticed that even after 15 minutes of the takeoff, the plane was not gaining much altitude. Just when the passengers were noticing this, all of a sudden, the pilot rang the announcement bell. Soon after, the pilot broke critical news to 140 passengers. Welcome you all again to Discover TV Videos. Viewers, on the 21st of September 2005, the flight of American Airlines JetBlue Flight to 92 was ready for departure from the Californian city of Burbank. It was 3 p.m., and the flight was about to take off at 3:15 p.m. for New York. Everything was going according to the plan. 140 passengers boarded the plane, and the airline crew had loaded all the luggage. They were waiting for the signal from the control tower. At 3 p.m. sharp, the pilot of the plane, Capt. Scott Berg, was given the green signal from the control tower to take off, and exactly 2 minutes later, at 3:17 p.m., the plane bid farewell to the Burbank airport. Neither the pilot nor the crew and the 140 passengers boarding the plane knew that they were about to witness the most horrendous situation of their lives. Just 15 minutes later, all the passengers noticed that the plane was not gaining much altitude. Soon, Capt. Scott made an announcement where he said, "We are facing technical difficulties." Listening to this, all the passengers panicked. Some said one engine of the plane had failed, and some said maybe the engines had lost power to gain altitude. But the actual situation was more grievous. Half an hour passed since the plane took off, but still, it was flying over California. Again, the pilot announced that they were getting some warning signals from the landing gear. Even the pilot had no clue about these warning signals. What must have been the problem with the landing gear for which the system of Flight 292 was giving continuous warnings? Capt. Scott was quite distressed and able to figure out the problem, and that was the reason he didn't want to gain much altitude. The pilot wanted to see the landing gear somehow so that he could assess the danger. To know this, he diverted the aircraft towards Long Beach Airport and lowered the altitude even more. The control tower of Long Beach Airport had a look at the landing gear by zooming the camera onto it. They found the nose was rotated 90 degrees to the left. Now it was clear that either they had to crash land or perform an emergency landing. The control tower gave him more bad news. They informed him that local news channels of Long Beach had recorded the landing gear footage of Flight 292, and now it was being broadcast live on American news channels. Not only that, but the passengers could also see this news on their TV sets. It had been 50 minutes since JetBlue Flight 292 took off, and the plane was continuously circling over California. There was no way to turn the landing gear if the aircraft attempted to land in this situation. The fire resulting from the friction might reach the fuel tank, leading to dangerous consequences. Astoundingly, there were 14,000 kgs of jet fuel present in the plane. That means the weight of the jet fuel was equal to 12 family cars. With so much fuel, it could obliterate the plane if it caught even a spark of fire. But Capt. Scott was smart. He decided to empty the fuel before landing. Now, the plane had fuel left only for half an hour of flight. This last half hour was very important for JetBlue Flight 290 and its 140 passengers. The pilot decided to crash land his plane at Los Angeles Airport because it was the nearest. Capt. Scott contacted the Los Angeles Tower and told them to be ready for any kind of situation. Capt. Scott switched off the television sets of passengers who were watching this whole situation live on their screens. It was an emotional moment for everybody. A person recorded the entire situation on his camera and also recorded a video message for his family. JetBlue Flight 292 was now under the radar of the Los Angeles Tower, and the airport crew made all the preparations to save the aircraft. From fire trucks to ambulances, everything was ready. The airport tower contacted the pilot of the plane, Capt. Scott, for the last time and gave the green signal for the landing. Soon after getting the green signal, the pilot requested all the passengers to get into the crash position. Sitting in this position during the collision can save a person to a certain extent. It is also called the brace position. The plane had reached the Los Angeles Airport runway. The pilot, with his great maneuvering skills, touched the rear landing gears of the plane and gradually slowed the speed. Finally, the pilot made the front landing gear touch down, and then it happened, the moment everyone had been apprehensive about. As soon as the front landing gear touched the ground, it caught a terrifying fire due to friction. The fire was so severe that passengers inside also felt the heat. But soon, everything became quiet, and the plane came to a halt. It was that moment when the pilot, crew, passengers, and the entire America watching the events live got a sigh of relief. One by one, the passengers were evacuated. The friction was so severe that the wheel of the front landing gear got halved. During the investigation, It was found that the lock present in the front landing gear, which prevents the wheel from spinning, had broken. As the lock got broken, the landing gear turned 90 soon after takeoff because of the pilot's extraordinary skills. Not a single person was injured. Hope you will like and share this video. My heartfelt appreciation for your loving comments. We'll meet you in another amazing video.